everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, then thank you so much for coming back. My name's Sharon and my channel is the Retirement Edit UK. So I do work part-time and I'm semi-retired, so I do get time to be able to spend with my family and friends. I get time to be able to take my mum shopping. I get quality time to myself to do my hobbies such as YouTube, walking, and things that I feature on my vlog are cook with me's, recipes. I also talk about personal finance and budgeting and keeping track in my spending diary. I also talk about my shopping. So if I've been to Aldi or Lidl or Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's, and then I also chat about any thrift finds from the charity shop and any bargains from Vinted and just everyday things, what I get up to if I have days out. And yeah, if these are things that are of interest to you, I would love it if you would continue watching my channel. And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what you see, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. So on today's vlog, I'm going to fill you in with what I've been up to towards the end of last week and the weekend. So basically I went to Marks and Spencer's last Thursday and I did show the food side of that in my last vlog. Now I also decided to treat myself to an item of clothing, and Marks and Spencer's were doing 20% off on all women's knitwear. So I basically decided that I did want to get a knitted hoodie. I do have one or two hoodies in my wardrobe, but they're grey and they're kind of like a sweatshirt material, but I fancied something nice and soft coming into winter. So this is the hoodie that I bought, and price wise it was £30, and then with 20% off I got £6 discount, so it was £24, and I was really pleased with that. And basically I had a complaint with the service provider and they sent me a little bit of compensation, so I decided to use that to fund my purchase. So yeah, very happy with that. So it's in a colour called Nutmeg, which is kind of like a browny greyish colour, and Marks and Spencer's class it as their air yarn, I think it's called. And when I checked the content information of what it's made, I was pleased to see that it does actually contain some wool content and also some elastane, so it will keep its shape in and out the wash. So yeah, this is going to be a real firm favourite for me in my wardrobe this autumn and winter. And I thought, seeing as Marks and Spencer's have still got 20% off, I would check out one of the bigger department stores because they do sweaters similar to what I'm wearing, and they call them the air yarn for £20. And I thought, well, if I like them, I could potentially get 20% off. So I jumped on the train on Friday and took a visit to Marks and Spencer's. So basically I did a little video of what's new in Marks and Spencer's. They got some really tempting things. beautiful autumnal colours. So you've got all the berry colours, you've got dark greens, you know, the burgundy colours, browns, camel, navy, classic red with grey as well. Oh, there were so many things. You could have gone crazy in there. But what I enjoy doing every new season is kind of just doing a little video of what's new, because it gives me a kind of idea of what colour palettes are popular for the coming season. And then if I want to kind of get something but more in my price range, I can see what's about on Vinted or in the charity shops. But I did really want some new tops similar to what I'm wearing, because I had done a declutter before I went out on Friday of all my autumn and winter tops, and I was really surprised actually. I'm pleased I tried them on. I actually managed to clear about 8 or 9 tops that were no longer fitting me, that were just very old, and ones that I thought, you know what, they've had their day. I've had them for years and years and years. I'm going to pass them on to the charity shop. They're still in like a good condition, you know, they're wearable, but for me they were too small, especially under the arms, and I just felt, you know, if it's not breaking the bank, I'd like to just get a couple of new replacements. So I headed to Marks and Spencer's, like I said, and here's a little video for you to watch, and I'm not going to narrate through it. It can just be a visual little video. You can, you know, fast forward through if it's not your cup of tea. It's literally only about 3 minutes, but it gives you an idea of what's new in Marks and Spencer's for autumn and winter. And then at the end, when we come back to me talking, I'll let you know if I purchased anything. So I think you will agree that they've got some very tempting, lovely items there. I was very tempted by a couple of things. There was a little cropped Aran kind of cardigan, and when I was about 17 or 18, I bought a cropped Aran cardigan. It was a wool one from Next, and I absolutely loved that cardigan. And I remember I went to visit friends. I had a weekend away, and it was like somewhere in Devon or Bristol, somewhere like that. And I left it behind, and I was so gutted. And I think this has kind of played on my conscious, my style subconscious, that is. And I've kind of been thinking, oh, you know, I would love a replacement for that kind of cardigan because I wore it all the time. So Marks and Spencer's had one for £35, and it was cotton and polyester. So I really was tempted to get it, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to get it because it's a little bit chunkier than what I really need. I have already got a wool Aran cardigan in cream, and I've actually got a wool Aran cardigan in a lovely green khaki colour, which comes just to above the knees. And I've also got a wool cream jumper. So I don't really need a cardigan like a chunky kind of cardigan, to be fair. I also did try on the Air Yarn red jumper, and there was another colour I tried. Oh, it was like a cream colour, but unfortunately the medium for me, it was perfect in the body, but it was quite tight under the arms and came up short for me. And when I was kind of looking at the material, I thought, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. And I didn't want to buy for the sake of buying. So my mission to get a couple of tops similar to this from Marks and Spencer's, it didn't actually happen. And then I went to Uniqlo, had a little look around there, see if they had something similar. Didn't really spot anything that I wanted in Uniqlo. I did try on a couple of things, but yeah, nothing took my fancy. And then I went into Primark, and then basically I managed to get 3 tops from Primark, and 2 are very similar to this, so long sleeved, but they're fleece backed, so they're like just a normal stretchy material, crew neck, but then with a bit of a fleece backing on it. And I got one in cream and one in like a Air Force blue colour, and they were £6 each. And then I got a brown short sleeved t-shirt, and that was £4. So I spent £16 in total for 3 tops, which would have been the price with the Marks and Spencer's discount of 1 top. So I was really quite happy with that. So yeah, that was my shopping trip at Marks and Spencer's. But you know, it didn't really matter that I hadn't purchased anything from there. I just really did want to see what they had, you know, for the new autumn and winter season. I just like having a browse round every new season, check the colours, check what's new. And I ended getting up tops that, you know, are going to mix and match well in my wardrobe. So very happy with that. So basically on Sunday was a really busy day for me. So it started early, and I went to church, and we had Harvest Festival, and it was a really lovely service, really nice, thoroughly enjoyed that. Took my donation. A lot of people obviously donated as well. So our local food bank is going to, you know, have a lovely healthy donation from our church, which is really good. And then I went on to pick up my son, because then we went to Ikea. Yes, when he changed jobs, he was given £100 Ikea voucher to spend. And he's been in his current job for quite a few months now. And he just wanted to be able to go to Ikea to get some things for his flat. And so I picked him up and we set off. So I said, if I'm driving, you can treat me to a lunch in Ikea. So here's a picture of our lunch. Oh, it was delicious. I knew in my mind that I wanted the Swedish meatballs because they're infamous for Ikea. And I had the Swedish meatballs with their gravy, peas, and then my son said you've got to have the lingonberry sauce, which is like a cranberry sauce, and I had chips with mine. And then they had a dime cheesecake, so I had that. Oh yeah, lunch lived up to expectations. Yeah, I was really happy to try the Ikea infamous meatballs. Really lovely lunch, and it was amazing how busy it was in Ikea. I said to my son, this is what people do on a Sunday afternoon then. They come out for a family trip to Ikea. And so I didn't get any footage in Ikea because we were just browsing and looking, and yeah, I didn't really get any kind of footage, but I will show you what I did get in Ikea. So basically the first thing that I picked up was this tin of biscuits. So they are Christmas themed and they're ginger thins. And the price on those were, let's have a look, £3.75. So a nice little tin there, and I'm going to enjoy those. Then next on the list, what I got was this big jar, and I am going to use it for biscuits. I do have a little biscuit barrel that I've a ceramic one that I've had for years and years, but it's not airtight, and I noticed that after a while the biscuits go soft. So this was £3, and I thought that was a really good price, and you can see all the biscuits as well. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Nice size, and gives me an excuse to basically crack open these ginger thins, and then they'll have a new home. Then next on the list, what I got was this lamp. So basically it's kind of, you put it on the floor, and if you can see, it's got a little bit of height to it, and then the light bulb is around the middle. And this was £9, and I just wanted a floor standing lamp for my spare room because the light doesn't work in my spare room. I need to get an electrician out, but for the moment I haven't got the money to be spending on that. Well, it's not priority for me. That's a better way of putting it. It's not priority for me to get that fixed. I've managed for quite a few years without it, so this is a cheap get out for me to get this. So this was £9, and then the light bulbs for it, you get 2 in a pack. They were £1.50. Then next on the list, which I knew I wanted to get in Ikea, and I just got the cheap ones. I got 4 photo frames, and these were 50p each. Yeah, so I'm going to see how I get on with those, but you can't go wrong for 50p each. Yeah, very happy with those. Then next on the list was a couple of placemats. and these were £1.50 each. And then I got a spatula because my one has seen better days. So yeah, I thought I'd get a new one. So the grand total of that for 11 items was £23.25. So yeah, pretty happy with the spend there in Ikea. I didn't go too mad. I said to my son, you know, you could like spend a fortune. I mean, he spent £116, but he'd got the £100 voucher, so that worked out really handy. And it just meant that he could get lots of stuff for his little kitchen and for his bedroom. And yeah, it was just perfect for him. It didn't break the bank. So yeah, that's what I got in Ikea. And then basically we drove home. Unfortunately, we were too late to get to Lidl because he had still needed to do his weekly shop and they closed at 4, but we did manage to catch Asda. So he did his weekly shopping there. And then I got a couple of yellow sticker bargains. So I got this tiger loaf, and the tiger loaf was 67p. And then I also got some sweet potatoes. They were 42p. And then I got my favourite Copperberg pear cider, and this is alcohol free, and that was, how much was that? That was £1.73. Very good price for that. I would have preferred the alcoholic version, but they didn't have it. So I thought I'll get the non-alcoholic. Yeah, absolutely fine on that. So that was my little spend in Ikea and also Asda. So that's basically what I've been up to. And then Monday was a day at work, Tuesday a full day at work, and here we are. The week has gone like a rocket. I can't believe it, how quickly the time goes. So thank you so much for watching my vlog. I really do appreciate you stopping by. And if you haven't already subscribed, would you please consider subscribing? It would mean so much to me. So do you have an Ikea near where you live? Is Ikea a shop that you would go to get all your little bits and bobs? You do really need transport. You do need to be able to drive really to get to them because they do tend to be out of town. Saying that though, there is one in London in Oxford Street now. It used to be Topshop back in the day, but Ikea have taken over that space. So that's doable on the train, but generally any other Ikeas, I think you're best off driving, especially if you know you're going to be, you know, buying a lot of stuff. But yeah, leave some comments for me and let me know if Ikea is a shop that you've shopped in before or you intend on going there to get some things. Yeah, they're certainly decked out with some Halloween stuff and also some Christmas stuff. Yeah, you could really go crazy in that shop, honestly. And then as we came out the other end, my son got a little hot dog and a drink as we were leaving. And as we were waiting for him to get his hot dog before we sat down and ate it, this woman walked past me and she goes to her kids, "Come on, I've had enough of this place. I just need to get home." And I thought, yeah, I think everybody feels that way once they've come through the cash point at Ikea. You just want to get out. It's like a one-way system. you just feel you've got to keep going, keep going, keep going until the cash point. They know what they're doing, how they've set out the store, they really do. Yeah, and I thought, you have my sympathies. She had kids, so she definitely had my sympathies. So thanks so much for stopping by. And, you know, if you are a regular, thank you so much for watching. Your comments mean the world to me, they really do. So I will see you on the next one. Take care, have a great week, and see you again. Take care, bye.